Your mind controls it all, and it has multiple levels of power. Okay, today I'm going to share a little theory that I have about the four different mind levels: the reactive mind, the aware mind, the proactive mind, and the mind you want to live in as much as you can, the magnetic mind. Welcome to Build with Rob. It is your boy, Rob Dyrdek, living life to the fullest, creating theories and ideas and bringing them alive in this show that we call Build with Rob, that I shoot in a beautiful studio in a penthouse in Beverly Hills, California, at this place that I love called the Dyrdek machine. As you know, we just, simply trying to manufacture amazing in all aspects of business and life. Systematically fusing that art, science, and magic, man, on a daily basis. And today, I've been really thinking about, the power of the mind and trying to break down the mind in as many different ways as possible, because it's so important to constantly be thinking about, figuring out ways to understand what you're thinking, why you're thinking it, and how it is affecting your overall experience. That is your life, because, again, as I've been pushing forward and, really trying to refine my overall philosophy and find simplicity on the far side of complexity and push towards creating books and content and ultimately the software, I keep just thinking through different aspects of what I go through on an ongoing basis as I continue to try to evolve myself to a higher and higher level, while trying to think of how I can share what I'm going through in a way that's usable for people that listen to the show, And lately I've just really been on, again, like, your entire reality is experienced through your mind, right? This idea that you're cooking through time, and as time is ticking away, your goal is to end up in the present moment so you enjoy it to the fullest at the highest level, and do that on a consistent basis, right? And really even enjoying the present moment at a really high level ultimately is based off of, your ability to experience it to the fullest through your mind, and the clarity you have on the moment you're there, and what you're actually feeling, right? And for me, I'm like anyone else, like, I am always, having really, really productive, high level energy. That's, high execution, high creativity, high output. And then I fall back into just sort of cruising, and then, being more reactive. Sometimes, I'm sort of knowing what I want to do, and sometimes I'm, know exactly what I want to do, and sometimes the world is showing me what I need to do, and that's what kind of led me to developing this overall, new thesis, if you will, of identifying kind of the different levels that my mind sits in all the time. And depending on what level I'm sitting at, will be the quality of my life, the quality of my decisions, the depth of my discipline, how committed I am, how consistent I am, how much happier and harmonious I am. I think that knowing that it drifts back to your mind, and how your mind perceives your present reality, has really been shifting how I look at everything as a whole, and really what I've realized is my mind has four different levels that I kind of end up, that are distinctly different, right? And for me, you have to become aware of what level your mind is on. And you always want to constantly be working to get your mind to the highest level. Level four is what I like to call it. But level one, it's that reactive mind. You know what I mean? Where you're just getting by. Like you're just, you get up, you get through the day, you do it, you move on. Like you get to the couch at the end of the day, you're not making any substantial progress, but you're not falling behind. You're just getting by. Number two is the aware mind, right? Like you understand what you need to do. You have an idea that you need to actually take action, but whether or not you necessarily do is hit or miss. The third level is the proactive mind. Like now, when you're thinking about all the things that you can take to one more level to make it happen, now you're pushing things forward. You're making that one more phone call. You're finishing that email. You're doing everything to push things forward. But where it gets real special is when you get to that magnetic mind, where really all of the questions and the ideas and the answers, everything is like drawing to you and coming to you, which then allows you to push everything in your existence forward at such a higher level. It's just such an extraordinary way of thinking, but it requires being deeply disciplined in all aspects of your life to ever get to the magnetic level of mind. And for me, when you look at these four different levels, the first step is just ultimately understanding where you're at and why you're there. And when I talk about everything matters, it's like for me, it's all aspects, all decision making, all balance in my life, how committed I am to diet and health and what's happening in my life that might be stressing me out. All of these things like have to be in order for me to go from a proactive mind to a magnetic mind, and the place that I hate when I get to, it's being in the reactive mind level. You know what I mean? Because you know what that's like, man. That is like, look, the nobody should ever want to live in a reactive mind state on an ongoing basis because you almost go from thing to thing to thing, just doing what you have to do, and in order to like get to a place where you're now doing something so you don't even have to think about any of the stuff that you're supposed to do. That is that reactive state that you get jammed up in, where you just feel like you're in the rat race and you're on the hamster wheel and you're just going from one thing to the next, never actually enjoying anything in any sustained level, not feeling like you're making any substantial progress. Like you just kind of feel like you're getting by and I'll do it tomorrow. It's the next day I can get refocused type of mindset, and look, it's not like even someone as disciplined and focused as me, man, I this is how I get there. Man, I skipped the gym one morning because I had like 3 drinks the night before and went on a run of, eating fries and pizza or whatever it is. The diet slips, a couple more drinks come in. The now I drift into like I could be getting things done and getting ahead, but instead I'm sitting on the couch watching TV. I got a spare hour. I just, end up on my phone for an hour. That is where like life is lost. Man, your life is lost when you are in a reactive mind state because you're pushing no progress towards a better future state because you are just living in the world as it is delivering itself to you, and then you can get stuck in there for a long time. Some people are stuck in there for life. Some people are stuck in there for life. I, as a deeply disciplined, highly focused individual, I still get there. And how do I get there? I get there from all the things that I understand, right? It is diet. It is bad sleep. It is disrupting my rhythm. It is, some unusual change or disruptive thing that jams me up, and then boom, I get into that reactive mind state, which ultimately um is what I'd like to probably think is the easiest, least of effort, and why so many people end up there on a more consistent basis, And the first level up from the reactive mind is the aware mind. Right. And it's like, man, the aware mind is when you finally wake up and enough's enough, and you at least now know, hey, I just can't be continually just going from thing to thing and not um taking the time to reassess and refocus and be start doing the things that I know I need to do to get back in a higher energy rhythm, and back towards evolving and growing and inching towards the goals that I have set out, right? And aware having an aware mind feels good. Feels good. Cause it's like, boy, at least I'm starting again. At least I'm back. Okay, at least I know, and then, these levels of mind you'll toggle between, right? You'll get aware, and you'll do some things to, like, get more disciplined, get back on track, get back into the stuff that that's better for you, whatever it may be, and then boom, you drift right back down into that reactive mind state where you're just kind of getting by. And the next level up, once you've gotten through that sort of awareness side, right? Because it's you know it's important, like, to be honest with yourself and have the conversation about what you need to do to get to a higher level of energy and feel better and get more disciplined and get more clear, right? And all these things that you need to put into place. And when I'm down in the reactive state and I end up in an aware mind, I begin to put the plans together. Like, okay, I'm just gonna go on a 10-day run. I'm gonna go on a 2-week run. I'm gonna refocus, and, like, okay, like, I'm gonna eliminate, like, in my case, it usually boils down to, like, alcohol and diet. Like, if I eat clean and do not drink, I almost would never disrupt my rhythm of my life or my flow, and it, for me, like, I understand, the power of my diet and what I put in my body and how it affects my personal energy, that ultimately affects my mind, which then affects the decisions that I actually make, that push everything in my life further, and push my overall energy and happiness further, right? You get jammed up, but getting into level 2 and having the awareness, like, it's at least that energy starts, because you're no longer in the whims of the things that are happening to you, and not taking any steps to feel better. You just kind of ease out of the lethargic state, and now you have the mind level to begin to plan, and how am I going to take action to get myself out of this situation. And then level 3 in the mind game is the proactive mind. Now, you got some real energy with the way you're thinking about things, because now you're not reactive anymore. You're not just aware of what you need to change. Now you have taken the action to actually make change. You are now looking at the lens through all the things that you need to do. Now you've got a week of eating clean. Now you haven't drank for a while. Like, you're back to getting up super early. You're now focusing on your goals, and writing down all the things that you want to do. You're proactively getting out in front of things that are going to be things that you need to do in the future. You're caught up on everything that you need to do in the present. That is the purity and the beauty of what happens when you get to level 3 and the mind levels and get to the proactive state. And look, My goal in life is to never ever drift out of the proactive mind level, and it's the like hardest thing to be consistent of and to be consistent about doing. And I would say, as I've created more and more systems and automated more things and optimized them over time and expanded and grew into who I am today, I spend most of my life in this like proactive state. You know what I mean? Like really toggling through being aware of what you have to do and then being on top of executing and doing it. But man, I still drift back to the energy that slows it down. Getting to fully reactive is much more rare, but it's that rhythm depending on how your life is made up, depending on the clarity you have, depending on the quality of your systems, depending on how disciplined you are, depending on how much awareness you are, depending on how committed you are to these will dictate whether or not you are swinging from reactive to proactive to reactive to proactive. These things will determine that, but over time, thinking about your life as this system and how everything integrates together and how you're trying to get everything to work together in a more efficient way and making it better and better over time, you then again begin to live in this proactive mind for longer and longer periods, And for me, my long-term goal is to never drift beyond the proactive mind. You know what I mean? I am my goal for 2023 is to never allow myself to dump back down into living this reactive state where I'm just dealing with what I have to deal with that's right in front of me, just enough to get it done so I can get to doing nothing, so I don't have to think about anything, so I can just chill. My goal in 2023 is to never get there the entire year. And for me, in order to do that, it means I need to take an already pretty significantly disciplined way of life and push it to a complete new level. And the crazy thing is it's not it sounds like, oh man, like it's so much work to do and like you're going to commit to so much to try to get to this level, but it's doesn't feel like it's going to be that much work for me. It feels like it's now my time to grow into this level of commitment. And for me, it really is like, being absolutely consistent at, not the 75-80% that I am with my core discipline, the stuff that I track as it's related to, did you get up at 5? Did you brain train? Did you get in the gym? Did you meditate? Did you eat clean? Did you not drink? Did you take your supplements? Like these um sort of core things, if you will, that all add up to being able to keep me in a proactive mind state. I could go back and look at my entire year and I could look at my Aura Ring data and my readiness score and against the qualitative numbers of how I felt about my life in any particular week and correlate it straight back to how consistent I was with all those health attributes and whether or not I drank. It's so clear to me that all of those things together keep me in this proactive state where I'm constantly pushing all aspects of my life and the vision I have for everything and the goals that I have and getting all of this stuff to move forward, stuff that's coming into my life that could disrupt my life. I'm handling it immediately. I'm seeing problems in the future that I solve before they show up. Like that is where living the proactive life on an ongoing basis will help you expand into life and evolve in a rapid rate. But that is not where the magic lies. The magic lies in the magnetic mind level. and I often refer to the magnetic mind level as the abundance vortex. You know what I mean? Where it's like I when I get to that level, it just feels like every bit of my existence is creating so much energy that it's almost like before I can even ask the questions for the things that I need to decide or determine, like the answers are presented to me, and this is an incredible special place. It's almost like a euphoric feeling when you have created so much energy and so much clarity, and then your mind is just seeing everything almost in slow motion. And it's like ideas and answers are presenting themselves to you before you even have a chance to ask them in all aspects of your life. And to me, I feel it in how I go in with my trainer in the morning and how we talk through like how we evolve, where we're at in our training program and how we're trying to continue to grow and evolve and get this body of mine into that flawless biomechanics. It's like versus on a reactive level. I'm talking most of the time when I'm in there rather than even like thinking about how do I make my body better. Like, magnetic versus like reactive is you go in and barely try versus like you're thinking of new ideas and trying to like understand what's going on in your body to make it even better. Oh, two different universes when it comes to being in the gym. Like in business, it's like it's the difference of, barely listening in meetings and just getting through the and giving your input based off of what you had, or in some cases, I in a reactive state, I'll cancel meetings and just not do them altogether. Versus like in the magnetic phase, like thinking all of these things before the meeting even happens of like, oh, we should think about this. And then, send a text message to an executive like, hey, today I want to talk about how we evolve the machine method into growing a brand instead of the process for building a brand. These like deeper ideas that move the entire thing forward in between your set times to doing stuff like that state when you are basically now at such a level of clarity that now everything is almost attracting itself to you. It's why I even call it the abundance vortex was because the fact that it felt like, my energy was swirling at such a level that things were just coming in nonstop, that I just couldn't explain, that were driving me towards my goals or whatever I was hoping to achieve in that particular time. And you know, it is only a place that I truly uh, you know, believe can be reached when you've really looked at all aspects of your life. You have designed that harmony in your life. Now you're in the process of living this more balanced, harmonious life, which has now led to a balanced mind. Which once you get to a balanced mind, and you can optimize your diet and your sleep and your schedule and every single thing that leads to this higher level. That is when your level of your mind can get to that magnetic level, and it is magical. And I want to say that one day I will be able to live in the magnetic mind level on an ongoing basis. More consistent than I even dip down into the proactive mind, but it's to this point I have just not been able to quite get there on a super consistent basis, man. It's a hard place to sustain. And in the same way that I slowly grew out of the reactive level and past the aware level and try to live most of my life in the proactive level, I I would like to think that one day I can live in that magnetic state on an ongoing basis, but again, that's my goal for 2023 is, hey, I don't even want to drift down into aware and reactive. I want to try to have the entire year where I am in that proactive state, constantly pushing everything forward, and then toggle between proactive and magnetic. So not only am I continually on top of everything, but I'm gaining more clarity, and then the universe is conspiring to deliver to answers to the questions that I didn't even know I had that push everything to a higher level. That is going to be my goal for 2023, and I'm ready to get there. I'm ready to make the commitment that it takes, because over the years I've continued from experiencing what it's like to be at that level, and then knowing all the things I had done previously to lead me there. I know it's possible to get there on a more consistent basis. It just now takes me being more committed and going for it. So again, I just want everybody to think about the way that they think. Your mind is in control of everything, and if you can understand that your mind has different levels and different degrees of power, and then you begin to understand what aspects of your life can you change or stay consistent as, that drives up that power. And then you can drive your mind out of level 1 and being all reactive into level 2 and understand and be aware and do what you need to do to make change, and then get to level 3 in that proactive mind that allows you now to begin to take action on action on action and get out in front and begin to build the energy that leads you to a magnetic mind. Level 4 that allows you to not only do so much, accomplish so much, but then creates the energy to attract all of the answers and opportunities that you need to reach your goals and ultimately that level of life that you are desiring. That's it, man. The levels of the mind. I really hope everybody again, takes that and thinks about it through their own lens and can look at ways of how they can create their own sort of energy and get to that level, and at least just try it, because I guarantee if you just eat super clean, commit to like core health principles, like write down goals, plan out a month, and just commit, man, you're gonna start feeling the energy of level 4 in like 10 to 14 days, and you're gonna be like, this is like, so much is changing, life is incredible, and then life's gonna come at you, and you're going to fall back down into a more proactive mind, but you'll taste the glory of the magnetic level, and then you too will continue to push your life as far as you can to try to continue to reach there. All right, that is it for our show. Appreciate all of you. You know what it is. Wherever you listen to the show, like, subscribe, comment, tell us what you think, tell us what you're doing. Thank you to everybody that hits me up and shares with me the way they've been collecting their data and different aspects of how they manage their time and all that stuff. I appreciate it from all of you. Everything we do it through social media and dyrdekmachine.com. So love connecting with everybody that truly is about this machine mindset. And you know what it is. You always got to be looking out into the future to create a better present mind. You got to create the plan to actually get there. You got to give it all you got to be there one day. Until next time, see it, believe it, do it.